Alec Baldwin was finally charged with manslaughter for the horrific accident on the Rust set. More next with Alisha Curtin and Curtain Call.
All right. But hey, did you know we have a world-class flight training school here in San Diego? That's right. Pilots can fly almost every day. We're close to the ocean as well as the desert and mountains. And SDFTI's instructors can help you learn to navigate around the international border and the military bases. That's why San Diego is one of the best places to learn how to fly in the world. Learn to fly in sunny San Diego, right at Montgomery Field. Give them a call, 858-569-1822, or learn to fly with SDFTI. But I'd call them at 858-569-1822.
All right, our newest segment, Curtain Call with Alisha Curtin. What do you got for us?
Very creative.
Yeah.
So, again, deviating a little bit from the original intent, but I think I kind of like the way that this is filling in every week.
Me too.
Just something firearms related, whether it's a defensive thing, whether it's just a use, a misuse, a red flag claim, whatever it may be. So this week we were talking about the whole Alec Baldwin, that's circling back in the news.
Yeah.
What happened there? I'm just kidding.
Those of us in the firearms world, we know that we are responsible for every round that comes out of our gun, right? Or at least we should. And if you don't, I'm here to inform you that you are. You don't. This is really bringing light, I think, in a lot of ways, and bringing it up to the forefront. The way that we need to be thinking about firearms, the way that we need to realize our responsibility to them when what we do and what we failed to do, and how that can come back and how it can be problematic, not only for loss of life and injury, but also legally in our freedom. So what's happening now is, and I think a lot of us saw this coming down the line after the shooting, is that he is now, of course, being charged with involuntary manslaughter along with the armor that was there on set. They're both being charged with involuntary manslaughter. So I don't know how you guys felt about that or if you saw that coming, but I was just waiting.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
What? Who charged him? It's not federal? Is it local, or we don't know?
Let me go back to the actual verbiage. Let's make sure.
I know that armor is done.
Oh,
she's
I
in big trouble.
Put armor in quotes because that
Armor
right.
trainee.
I guess the story with her is she was very young.
Mm-hmm.
This was her first big job.
Her claim was her dad.
Her dad
Yeah,
was
her
very
dad.
famous, and so she, But,
Is that an excuse, though?
No,
it's not an excuse, but no, I think that she's
that's
in big
how
trouble.
people move up the so-called
Mm-hmm.
ladder.
Have to start somewhere.
And much as I don't want to put a cost factor into it, there's been somewhat of a trend that Mr. Baldwin was not spending as much money on the whole production to begin with, where people were sleeping in their cars, couldn't afford hotels, and he probably went with an armor that
was cheap.
Just saying.
It's not where you want to skimp.
Well, no, you wouldn't think that, but, as he says,
maybe have sandwiches rather than meatloaf, rather than,
Okay,
she's
but,
like
we're going to fall right back into they got to stop talking about everything other than how did the live ammo get on set?
What do you mean?
How did they get live?
No, what do you mean they have to stop talking about everything?
Well, they quit worrying about is he going to go to jail? Is he going to no, let's find out where that ammo came from.
Oh, ignore everything except that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because let's face it, if you know anything about the movies, you just don't put live ammo on a set where there is a weapon of any kind. You just don't do it. And supposedly, they had 2 or 3 shoot-offs? I mean, the guys were target shooting because they were out in the
Correct.
desert.
Bad idea.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
There were mistakes made all around.
So,
what are some of the other mistakes?
Well, like Dave was just stating, the intermingling. So it clearly stated that they found live rounds commingled in with the blanks. You don't do that. You don't mix ammo like that. So the fact that live ammo was, if the intent of these guns was strictly for the use for film, why do they need live ammo at all on the set? At all? Why? You don't bring live ammo into a classroom. Why you bring it onto a set where you have no need or use for it? It's a liability and a risk. These blanks. Now, there's actually an inherent risk with blanks too. They're not completely
blank.
What's that?
They're not completely blank.
They potentially could not be. So there is a risk with them, but that's a known risk, and you take precautions for that. The fact that there was live ammo, I have not seen an explanation for that. That right there, I think, is going to be a point that is going to be a big point in the trial. The fact that it was stated that it was loaded, and I've seen some different articles going back and forth as to who loaded it. Was it the producer? Was it the armor? I've seen I've seen statements going both ways.
He wouldn't have loaded it. I doubt very sure.
No, I doubt.
But
it
what
as well.
about let's do the conspiracy theory thing?
All right, let's do it.
Well,
Got my hat on. I got my foil hat.
somebody planted a live round, one to who knows how many, on a set that you're not supposed to have that.
So what was for what? Why?
Well,
What's the purpose?
To end Alec Baldwin's career.
Probably
Well,
something to that.
but why would
effect.
they? Who would want to do that? Why would
I know he's
Were
your
they-
best friend, and you guys golf every third Thursday. But
well, we both have very similar
but,
hair.
but I know,
both
and
good
you have
looking
just
in the
as many
same way,
girlfriends.
you know.
And it's a tough life.
Yeah.
But somebody had to do it. I think he's not the nicest guy, and he's not loved by everybody.
I think he tanked his own career pretty well, though.
You think?
I don't think he needed help
Yeah. But you know what I mean?
before this.
He
I
shot
don't know.
himself in the foot.
But you got to admit, it does. I mean,
Anything's possible. Absolutely.
but this
But
pushes more
Well,
towards it than
well,
not. Let's
what,
put it-
was there a final like, hey, this is why we're finally doing this? Was there a piece of evidence that they found where they said, well, this is why we're finally doing this, or was it just finally the
Media
result
I
of
think that they're holding that close to the cuff. I don't think they're releasing that just yet.
close to the bulletproof
Yep.
vest?
Correct. Close to the bullet.
I got to tell you, I do like these memes that are going around that
Like I stand behind Alec
I
Baldwin.
stand behind Alec Baldwin.
Love that one.
It's safer.
Right. No, I
Don't
really
stand next to him.
Right. And of course, we don't know what his defense is going to be, but I'm sure there's going to be some tone of
He didn't pull the
I
trigger.
didn't know. Well,
He didn't
he
pull the trigger.
stated he didn't pull the trigger. It's
He didn't pull the trigger.
Who else would have?
Yeah. Somebody,
Okay.
but it wasn't him.
So-
I'm sure they were filming it.
by definition, right? By definition, involuntary manslaughter. Let's just talk about the definition. It's the crime of killing another human being unlawfully, but unintentionally. So, I mean, did he kill a human being?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, but I don't.
Was it unintentional?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm curious.
he's probably not going to go to jail. You think?
Isn't he up for like 18 months? Wasn't that what I saw?
Well, the problem is he's also the
Strange.
producer, so he has a lot of safety issues he has to deal with, along with
And
killing this girl.
It's the state of New Mexico, by the way, that's bringing charges.
Well, so I'm not an attorney, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So take this for what it's worth. But my understanding is, usually, from my very limited understanding of the law, they want to see who's responsible for this. And I have a feeling they're going to find that he wasn't responsible unless they are prosecuting Alec Baldwin, the producer, because he's the one that hired the armorer.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're simply prosecuting Alec Baldwin, the guy who pulled the trigger, my bet, I'd put $1.50 on that they're going to slam this armorer.
I agree.
Because it's that my understanding. Now, one thing that was kind of annoying, when this whole thing heated up, is gun owners jumped on Alec Baldwin because we don't like Alec Baldwin.
Right.
If this were Tom Selleck, I would bet that every gun owner out there would have some kind of an excuse for why he wasn't responsible. But it's Alec Baldwin. He's a jerk. He's on the wrong side of the political spectrum. So we all jumped on him, and we all turned into these purists. Well, you never point a gun and blah blah blah. I don't know a single gun owner out there who hasn't muzzled themselves when they're putting their everyday carry on. I mean, I think people were kind of going to like these
Look at the
weird
look on their faces. They're
extremes.
in total shock that you would say
I mean,
that.
it was just kind of it was looking silly. It was looking kind of silly. Like it was clear that everybody just didn't like Alec Baldwin. But
Well, he didn't help it either. Going on TV.
I don't like Alec Baldwin, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, 8-year-old me loved Beetlejuice. That was hilarious. But ever since then, he's been a jerk. So I think I was 8, maybe I was 10. I don't know.
Yeah. Right after Red Dawn.
So I think that they're going to have to find out that, okay, who was actually responsible for this? And like I said, I'd put $1.50 on that. This armor is going to go way down.
So you don't think
She's
he'll
not
have
sure.
anything? He won't be responsible, or
I don't know. I don't know enough.
Trigger.
Yeah, but so on a movie set, people pull the trigger.
Can't be in the jury. Okay,
people pull the trigger at people all the time. We see it all the time, you know?
Well, yeah, but it's not done by a high profile.
No, but what I'm
person.
saying is the expectation of an actor to have the ability to safely pull a trigger on a set.
Yeah.
You know, they're not responsible for that.
Right.
Now,
2 minutes.
I've heard people say, "Oh, well, they're supposed to whatever." They go through the I would be willing to bet that Alec Baldwin's attorney is going to be able to say, "Hey, look, the responsibility lies in the armor. That's the whole point of why we hire an armorer." But the problem is, Alec is the guy that hired the armorer. So I think that Alec Baldwin, the producer, is going to go down. Alec Baldwin, the actor, probably not.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on how
I
they
agree.
prosecute it.
Okay, I didn't understand where you
And
were
then-
going. I agree.
And then armor is going to get.
Gonna go down.
She's
gonna
done.
bite it.
She's going to be flipping burgers at In-N-Out
At
for the rest
at
of her life.
Alcatraz.
Yeah, well,
They're both facing 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, which is a 4th-degree felony, punishable up to a year and a half and a $5,000 fine. But the cliffhanger is that there's an additional charge included, which is a provision because it's an offense committed with a firearm, which is a 5-year mandatory sentence. So
Mandatory.
mandatory. There'll be no discretion.
No discretion.
Yeah.
ouch.
Watch, they're going to try to get it switched to California.
And then he walks.
Then he walks. He's not going to. He'll run if he can get that thing to California.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.